Psylocke is also known as Betsy Braddock, the sister to Jamie Braddock and Brian Braddock. She is one of Marvel's UK superheroes and mutants who has even taken her twin brother Brian's place as Captain Britain before. When thinking on Psylocke, you might first think of her as a member of the X-Men and the X-Force. You might think of her psychic katana or her psychic dagger, and her skills as a telepath and telekinetic. But beyond that, she has many other talents and powers as well. Today we're going to look at some of her other abilities as we count down the top 10 superpowers you didn't know Psylocke had. And if you love this somewhat confusing and body swapping Omega level mutant as much as we do, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Number 10. Ninja Assassin Fighting Skills. Though she uses her telekinetic abilities a lot in a fight, and I mean a lot, Betsy doesn't need to rely on them to beat someone in hand-to-hand combat. Her skills as a ninja assassin have been reinforced on a few different occasions. At one point she was trained by the hand, but she also inhabited the body and, for a while, kind of the mind of Quanon, a skilled ninja assassin, whose body she swapped with in a controversial and pretty ridiculous storyline, and who also seemed to have purple hair, possibly even natural purple hair, as opposed to Betsy's original's body's dyed purple hair. Betsy also became such a skilled assassin that she even admitted during her time on Cable's X-Force that she was addicted to killing. So, you know, she's like a super assassin. Anyways, she tries not to kill people anymore. Number 9. Telepathic Link and Twin Bond. This power feels like it's almost based off of folklore. Betsy and her twin brother Brian share a unique connection. They have a strong telepathic link to one another. This link has actually helped the twins to sense when the other is in danger and rush to their side to help them. People have often believed that the time shared in the womb actually allows twins in the real world to share an almost psychic link to one another, sensing one another's emotions or physical states, even while separated. Studies have even actually been conducted on this subject, and while I don't think it makes a lot of sense scientifically speaking, I know that my twin sisters have experienced some pretty freaky twin telepathy moments, so maybe there's a real world thing to this, I don't know guys. Beyond being linked to her brother, Psylocke has the capacity to be linked with just about anyone. When her mutant powers actually surfaced, she found herself instantly and overwhelmingly telepathically connected to millions of people, not having much control over her powers just yet. This caused her much grief initially, though it has proved a useful power throughout her development. Number 8. She's a spy. Psylocke is a master of shadows for many reasons, one including her prowess as a spy. She worked as a spy agent on the Psy division of Strike, the special tactical reserve for international key emergencies. Well, for a time. An oddly, conveniently cool acronym for what was basically MI6 with a wider net. During her time working as a Psy agent for Strike, she would plot to infiltrate the Hellfire Club. She worked on the Strike Force undercover, with her cover life being that of a working fashion model, pun intended. This was also the time we saw Betsy make a dramatic change to her hair. Up until this point it always matched her twin brother Brian, aka Captain Britain's blonde color, but she would then start dyeing it purple and never look back. Her purple hair has since become an iconic part of her look. Number 7. Astral Projection. Using her telepathy, Psylocke can project her astral form, allowing her to explore the astral or physical plane outside of her body. While in the astral plane, she can use her abilities to alter the environment around her, and even create psionic weapons, much like she can while inhabiting her body on the physical plane. There was even a time when she was undetectable in her astral form. That being said, she can easily be harmed while in her astral form when facing those who are stronger than her, like in Uncanny X-Men Volume 1 when she went up against Mr. Sinister. Number 6. Force Fields. Beyond having the physical and tactical skills to take down an opponent, Psylocke can also guard against physical attacks when she wants to, and even shield herself from things like magical explosions or fire. Using her telekinesis ability, she can construct a force field around herself and others to protect from incoming attacks. It isn't an effortless ability, however, as it does require a lot of mental strength and focus on her part. Number 5. Psionic Blasts. In a fight against Archangel, Psylocke used this newfound power to knock him out. Her psionic blasts can be deadly actually, despite the fact that they don't really inflict physical damage. Instead, these blasts attack Psylocke's opponents mentally, though they can still inflict mental pain. Psylocke is also capable of wielding the psionic energy on such a level that she could create an explosion. Psionic explosions! Number 4. Magic Immunity. After Jamie Braddock resurrected Psylocke, she was brought back with some different abilities. While she no longer had her shadow teleportation power, she found she was now immune to telepathic or telekinetic interference, and Jamie even insisted that she had a resistance to magic, specifically reality-altering magic. He apparently had made sure she was brought back with these resistances, as he needed her in order to defeat the Forsaken. Number 3. Pilot. While it might not be as interesting as some of her other professions and power sets based around being a spy and a ninja, way before any of that happened, back in the original Captain Britain Volume 1, Betsy was known for her skills as a pilot. Truth be told, we never really got to see said skills, but they were acknowledged by her brother Brian Braddock. Betsy seemed more to downplay them, and then while flying, a light kinda hit her and caused her to hallucinate, and then she crashed. Not really her fault, but it didn't really add any hype to this ability. Still, based on what Brian said in issue 8 of Volume 1, we can't assume that Betsy was an accomplished charter pilot. Just never really got to see a lot of it. Number 2. Flight. You may know of Psylocke's famous butterfly aura that surrounds her eyes and face while using her telekinetic abilities. Likewise, she can also use her telekinesis to give herself metaphorical wings and allow her to take flight, though she is also sometimes pictured with that neon pink butterfly wing-like aura on her back while soaring around. So sometimes it does actually look like she has wings, telekinetic wings, which is also kind of fitting considering how romantically close she and fellow X-Men Angel have been over the years. This seems to be an ability that writers sometimes also forget about though, so she doesn't use it that frequently. You can see her take flight in the Uncanny X-Men series from 2016, volume number 4, if you want to see that, which I mean, who doesn't want to see Psylocke fly? It's super cool. Number 1. Invisibility. When you think of Psylocke, you may think of her stealth abilities. She is a spy, a ninja, an assassin, and has been known to shadow teleport. But what you might not think about when it comes to her stealth is her power of invisibility. Yes, she can turn invisible. This power comes from her telekinesis skills. Although it's not often seen, she has used it before in the comics. This, combined with her astral projection abilities, makes her an even more stealthy mutant than you might initially suspect, though as we've seen, it doesn't do anything when it comes to cloaking her from Mr. Fantastic. Unsurprisingly, trying to use invisibility powers to sneak up on a man who is married to the Invisible Woman is really, well, not the most effective way to use that ability. I'm sneaking and Reed Richards is like, I know you're here. I'm used to invisible people, it's kind of my thing. Thank you for watching, Nerd Squad. I hope you learned something new about Psylocke and her abilities. I feel like depending on who is writing her, there's just so much that she can do. She's such a multifaceted character and superhero. What are some of your favorite Psylocke moments? What was your favorite version of her character? How do you feel about her swapping bodies / merging with Quantum? Let us know in the comments below. And speaking of comments, it's time to turn to some comments from one of our latest videos. Top 10 superheroes who don't know how to use their powers properly. Comrade20 says, imagine being a hero but not knowing how your powers work. Why training is important. Love your video, Top 10 Nerd. Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. And that is a good point. One thing I think heroes should learn about more is in comics physics and sciences. Understanding how their powers work exactly would likely also help them to figure out how to best utilize them, and would also help us to understand them more as well. Even if real world physics likely don't really apply. Bat Signal comments, what about Cyclops? The guy loses his shades and he turns into a bazooka with legs. I mean, yeah, if Cyclops loses his visor or glasses, depending on the depiction, you might want to duck. But also, he has studied and trained hard over the years to actually become a master of his powers. With his visor and insane super trigonometry skills, he is highly adept with his powers, which is why I feel like it was kind of unfair to include him. He works so hard! And that's all the time we have for comments today. Be sure to comment below for a chance to have your thoughts and feels featured in a future video. And if you love what we do here at Top 10 Nerd, why not prove it by smashing that subscribe and, ringing that there bell. This has been Top 10 Nerd and I'm your host Amanda McKnight, reminding you to stay nerdy, YouTube.